What's good, YouTube? Welcome back for episode 2 of Empyrion. In the last episode, we went around and got up a bunch of materials and things like that, and I got up with my buddy in between, a guy named Sarah, and he's a good friend of mine that I used to interact with quite a bit when I streamed this game on Twitch. He's a really good builder, and I'm going to be showcasing one of his builds today, one of the early game builds. It's going to be an HV that you can go ahead and build as soon as you hit level 5. I'm going to show you how to go about doing that, and we're going to use his build. I'll probably end up showing off a lot of his stuff. Like I said, he's a really good builder and a good friend of mine. So in order to do that, we're going to hit F2 here and bring up our blueprints menu, or you can just go through any of your menu stuff up here and just choose this one right here. That's your blueprints. So his HV that he did is called the Bugly 2. Interesting name. I absolutely love it. He's got a good sense of humor about him. So all you have to do in order to make this is make sure that you have everything that you need here. So copper ingots, carbon substrates, silicon ingots, and iron ingots. And just go to the factory here. Just go to factory. And then you'll be able to dump things that it says you need directly in. So I can't remember. I don't think we can dump ore in. No, we actually have to process the ore and stuff. So we'll be doing all of that, but you can dump things like steel plates in for any iron that you might need. That'll count. So any of this mess that you get here that you don't need to use or whatever, like the steel plates and the nanotubes and all. Well, nanotubes you'll probably want to hold on to for later, but anything like that that you get, you can go ahead and dump straight in, and it'll actually count towards what you need. It'll just take it apart into the ingots. But we need to get this going here today, so that's what we're going to work on. And in order to do that, we've actually got to start our first little base here. So I'm going to just go ahead and use this place over here. In fact, we don't even have to do the base. We just have to do if we got a survival constructor here, we'll see that it's got a portable constructor, which we should already have, if I remember correctly. I think they give you one at the beginning. I'm not 100% sure. I don't see it anywhere though, so apparently they don't. But in order to do that, we have to unlock it in the tech tree. So we're going to hit F3 to bring up our tech tree here and see if we've got 35 points available. So I'm going to go ahead and come down here and find the portable constructor. And in order to find that, that's under the miscellaneous tab here. It's level 1 item on down the list here. And we just double click on it and we are good to go. We just hit the unlock button and we have it unlocked, I believe. Yeah, it's unlocked now. So now that we've got the portable constructor, we can go ahead and make one. So I'm just going to make my first constructor here, and as soon as it's done, we will put it on our bar. And once we get that on the bar, we'll be able to pretty much make all of the stuff that we need from the ores and things like that. We can make the ingots out of the ores, which is what we're going to need to dump into the blueprint here. So if you want to bring the blueprints back up, you just hit the F2 button again, or you can just hit the blueprints button here. So once you have something locked in here, anything that you put in here gets saved. So there are some blueprints, I know there used to be, I don't know if they still work, but there's some blueprints that require like tons and tons of everything that you can just dump all your resources directly into once you get them processed. Those are actually a good idea. It's almost like an infinite storage that you can use at any time, and then once, like if we put too many of these in, they'll be left over for the next. So think of it as the factory has its own inventory and it'll hold on to the inventory in between building. Okay, so our constructor is just about done here. In fact, it looks like it's done. Yeah, sometimes you have to tab or break out of the menu and come back in. It's a graphical glitch. It's kind of weird, but hopefully they're working on that one. All right, so that's been around for a while, actually. So this portable constructor, we can place down here, and if we hit Shift F, we can pick it back up. So that's the beautiful part about this thing. We can drop it anywhere we want to, and then just go ahead and dump all of our ores into here. And once we get all of our ore in, I think that's everything that we have. I'm not going to do the promethium yet. We don't really need it at the moment, but once we get all of those in, we can make all of our ingots here. So I'm just going to hold down control to queue up 100 at a time. And it looks like we can make about 400 iron, I believe. I think it uses 1-to-1. I'm not 100% sure. But we're just going to go ahead and queue all of this up. Oh, yeah, I'm missing... Oh, it was... Okay. I'm missing out what I'm doing. I'm just going to queue up a bunch of everything. Like, it doesn't really matter that you get the numbers right. Because if you over queue, then it's just not going to make them. And you can also take this crushed stone here, and you can turn that into ores as well. I'm going to hold on to that because we need it for the stone dust for concrete. So I'm not going to do anything with that for the moment. But if you're really, really short, you can use the crushed stone for everything that you need. It'll make any of these ores, the silicon, the iron, or the copper. Okay, so while that's working, let's see. We've got a little while to wait on that. So we might as well go around and grab our wood that we need. We need the carbon substrate, I believe it is. And if you go to defense mode with your survival tool here, you'll notice that you can shoot the trees, and that will actually chop the tree down until you get a chainsaw. This is probably the best route to get the carbon that you need. Now this tree's got a little bit of health here, and it automatically puts the wood logs into your inventory. It used to be funny. A lot of times when, I don't know if it still does it. I know in the past, whenever you chop one down or whatever, sometimes the wood would go flying all over the place. It was pretty fun to watch, actually. A lot of little glitches and stuff that could happen from it. So we're just going to go ahead and start taking down some of these trees in the area real quick while we're waiting on our stuff to build over there. That way we've got plenty of carbon and things like that. If I remember right, I think we can take this spoiled food that we have too. If you notice, the food's spoiled, and we've got the spoiled food here. So let me go ahead and put all of that together. One thing I do recommend, if anyone hears... Oh, we got sorting options. Okay. I like the sorting options here. This is new. I haven't seen that before. But one thing I do recommend, if anyone from the Empyrion crew hears this, I would absolutely love to have an auto sort feature that would just stack everything together. That's one thing that I think this game is missing that some other survival games that I have actually has. Just a thought. It's not game breaking or anything like that. I just think it would be a nice feature to have. Okay, so we're going to continue on here and do the thing while we're waiting. We should almost be done with some of it, so let's go check in on that and see where we're at. We don't really need a lot of carbon, and I believe that the wood is where we get the carbon, if I remember right. Okay, so yeah, we've got a little while yet on this. Let's go ahead and toss this in here and see if we can make the carbon. Okay, we can make plant fibers out of this, and let me type in here for carbon substrate. That is stone dust and plant fibers. So we will take the stone in here. We're going to have to, yeah, we can go ahead and just queue up a bunch of those too while we're at it. Might as well just do a couple hundred. We'll probably end up needing them before it's over with. And if I remember right, let's see what we can do with this as well. I think that makes the nitrocellulose. Or no, that's the plant fibers. There was something that you needed. I think it was just... Used to be, anyway. It used to be just the stuff that you need for farming that you could use the spoiled food for, which was pretty useful. It's like fertilizer that you put into your farm bed. I don't see it listed here, though. I forget where it was, but it was pretty close. Okay, so we can make a motorbike right now. We've got everything that we need. So you notice how some of these items are blue, some of them are red, and things like that. So if you have the items at all, to everything that you need to build, so say this motorbike right here. I'm not going to build one because we're going to be doing the HV, which is better than the motorbike if you ask me. But if you click on this motorbike here, it'll queue up everything that you need to make it, just based off of what you currently have. So that's always really good. So anything in this list over here, in any of these lists, as long as it's not showing up red, you can build. with a single click, which is pretty useful. That's one thing that I do like about this game versus other games. So let's go ahead and build a chainsaw, and we're going to go ahead and do some pistol rounds too. 200 may be too much. Let me cancel that. And we're going to do just, I think 10. That should be good because these pistol rounds make extra. For every one that you make 25 rounds. So we don't want to use up all of our copper here. We're going to need that for our ship. And flashlight. I don't think I have the flashlight either. So I might as well queue one of those up. And it's going to queue all of this stuff through as it goes. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let the game run for a little while this is working. And I don't really have too much to gather or anything. I don't need to explore anything, and I don't want to lose my spot. So I'm just going to let this run for a little while, and I'll be right back with you. Oh yeah, another good thing about this game is it actually has weather. It'll have all kind of storms. There are radioactive storms and there are regular storms, as you see. And this just came out of nowhere while I was just sitting there waiting. So I figured I'd show this to you. It's pretty good. Ooh, I even saw lightning strikes over there. So like I said, this game's a beautiful game. And there's a lot to it. I don't know if you can be struck by lightning, but look at how the wind is blowing the trees and everything. This is amazing, actually. They've done a lot of really, really good graphical work with this game. I'm going to try to get under here just to see if we can get some kind of shelter here, just in case the lightning strikes or something, because I'm not sure if you can be struck by the lightning or anything. My guess is probably not, but let's be on the safe side. So I'm just going to let that run while I'm chilling here and let the storm pass, and I will be back with you. Okay, I take back what I said about the auto sort feature. Apparently this has it already. I'm not sure if it'll stack everything, but if you click this little button down here, it's got no sorting, item type, alphabetical, food, perish time. So you can actually choose however you want to sort your stuff here, which is really, really nice. So you can sort by item type up or down, alphabetical up or down, food up or down, perish time up or down, mass up or down, and volume up and down. So I think that's better than any other auto sorting that I've seen, since you get to choose exactly what you want there. So good job there. That was the one issue that I've ever really had with this game, was the lack of auto sorting. So I'm pretty happy about that. Now, another thing to note while I'm working on this is each one of these queues right here, like if you make one of these iron ingots, it's going to do a 1 to 10 ratio. So you're going to end up getting 10 times as many ingots as you have ore. So just remember that. So it's a 1 to 10 ratio on the iron here, and I think it's 1 to 10 on everything, if I remember correctly, except for maybe the promethium. I'm not 100% sure on that. Yeah, it's a 1 to 10 ratio as well, so you're pretty good on that. Now, another thing is we're making iron ore out of our rock here, and I needed the crushed stone for the other stuff. And you can't cancel something once it's already making, so be careful with that. I kind of messed up there. Hopefully I don't have to go get more stone for this, but if I do, we'll go get it. I think I may have caught it early enough to at least get the carbon substrate that we need. I'm going to go ahead and check. We only need 101 carbon substrate, so we may have enough. Another trick is if it's nighttime, you can go ahead and sleep through the night, and by the time you get up, all of the stuff should pretty much be done in here. So that's perfect. That's exactly what we needed to do. And that'll help you speed things up. So if you queue things up close to nighttime and you want them to go quickly, just sleep overnight. That's the easiest thing to do. Okay, so now that we've gotten everything that we need here, I'm going to go ahead and empty this out and pick it back up, so that way we don't have to worry about it anymore. And then we're going to hit F2 again to go into our production line here, and we're just going to dump the last few things that we needed in here. I need one more thing of silicon. I miscounted that, so I'll have to take care of that shortly. And we need 101 carbon substrate. In order to do that, I'm just going to right click and drag until I get down to 100, because it'll basically split it in half. And then I can take this and just pick it up with the left mouse button and then right click, and it'll take out 1. So we can get exactly 101. I don't want to put a bunch of extra carbon substrate in there because we're going to need that later for other things other than blueprints here. So all I need to do now is just make sure I do one more round of silicon. There we go. And then I can take that out. And when this finishes off, we'll have exactly what we need. So this is a 5 to 10. So that's basically a 2 to 1 ratio there. I think they're all like that, if I remember right. Yeah, all 5 to 10. So 2 to 1, basically. And now that we're done with that, we will go ahead and hit F2 again and then put the last 10 that we need into here and start production. Now this is going to take 12 minutes and 4 seconds to finish. The bigger the ship is, the longer it takes. So we're just basically going to run around and do some stuff while we're waiting. I'm going to go ahead and reload my pistol here and pick up my tent, and we're just going to run around a little bit, see what we can get into while we're waiting on this. I'm going to be basically gathering as I go. That way we can get extra levels and stuff. I ended up getting, I think, level 7 while I was waiting because I killed one of these little guys right here. Now, be careful with these alien insects. They don't attack unless you get too close. But if you get too close, as you see, they'll attack you. And if you're sitting there mining, they'll attack you if they come up on you and they get too close to you. So that's something to think about in the future. And if you pick an area that's got a lot of vegetation and stuff, just remember everything rejuvenates overnight in this game. So you can basically go and repick everything after one night's gone by. So if you pick everything at night or right before nighttime and then you just sleep through the night and then you can come back and pick it all again. That's a really good way to level pretty quickly. And I'm a couple days ahead on my videos right now. I'm like 4 days ahead, I think, something like that. So not all of the videos have gone through yet. I haven't seen the reactions to all of them yet, but so far this one's the only one that's come close to competing with the Space Engineers video. So apparently you guys are liking this pretty well. I think I'm going to do slightly longer episodes on this one because of that. And I absolutely wouldn't mind doing extra long videos on this one. I'm getting some kind of weird load lag here. I don't know what's up with this. Usually it'll fail on the recording before I get anything like that. So I'm guessing it's just loading lag where I'm loading in new area or something like that. Maybe new textures. I'll look into that and see if there's any way I can fix that. But I absolutely love what they've done here with the graphics. It's really, really good. Okay, so we've got about another 9 minutes and 36 seconds on this. So I'm just going to continue to run around and gather and try to level a little bit while we're waiting on that. Oh, and these guys right here, they're aggressive, so be careful with them. I guess you could call them brain bugs from the way they look. They're aggressive and they will hurt you if you don't have the right stuff. Like, I'm not sure if the pistol's really going to take care of them very well, but we'll test it out. If I remember right, these guys will spit and you don't want to take them on too early. Got him. Oh, I thought I did. It was telling me I couldn't damage the tree that I shot with this weapon. But they will run away once you start hurting them a little bit, I think. So, okay, so we need to clear this out a little bit. We've got too much stuff in our inventory, which is something that I've never had happen in this game. I'm not complaining at all about that. I'm going to go ahead and just eat the emergency rations here because I'm not going to need those later. I should be good on everything, and that'll just give us an extra stat. But these guys don't appear to be as aggressive as they used to. Used to, they would just come straight after you. If you came anywhere near them, they would attack you. But shooting the animals and stuff, it's according to where you're at if you want to do that, by the way. I'm trying to remember these guys' names. I believe it's the Talons. They're kind of, they're more of an American Indian style race. They do not like you attacking things that don't attack you first. So be careful with that. If you're in their zone and you do something, it's going to reduce your rating with that faction if you do something that they don't like. So anytime that you mine in the mining zone, anytime that you mine in an enemy zone, anytime that you do anything destructive in the Talon zone, things like that. So you have to pay attention to that while you're in their areas if you want to work on your faction standings and stuff like that. So that's just one thing to be very, very attentive of. Let's see, is this guy? Yeah, he is. He just doesn't like being shot. He runs away when he's starting to hurt. Okay, gotcha. They don't mind you taking out the aggressive stuff. They do mind you taking out the docile stuff, though. So that's something to be aware of. All right, we got about 6 minutes left on this. It will pop up when it's ready to go and let us know that it's done. So let's go check these big dinosaur looking guys out. I haven't really looked at them too much. I don't think these are aggressive, the lizard mules. No, they're not. They're pretty cool looking though. I really like them. Now, obviously, if you shoot their babies, they're coming after you. But they're not aggressive on their own. So that's one thing to pay attention to. Don't be scared of them. Oh, another thing is, if you're looking for stone and you can't find any, look for one of these big pillars here. These guys actually have tons of stone in them. You can use your resource drill on them, and they will give you a lot of stone. Let's see, how much does that have? That's got about 7,053 health, but it'll give you a ton of stone when you take it down. It takes forever to drop, but it is by far the best way to get stone early game. We got Triceratops over here. Let's see if he's aggressive. I don't think he is. Probably is if we get too close to him, but real Triceratopses, they're not meat eaters. They are actually, or weren't meat eaters. They were herbivores. So I'm guessing he's pretty docile unless you attack him. Oh, yeah, now that I remember, I said something about the Sathium being one of the rarest items in the game last time. It is not the rarest item in the game. I remember now that that gold is the rarest item in the game, and it only grows in little gold patch areas that'll show up on your map. Actually, I don't think it shows up on your map or anything, but basically it'll look like kind of like goldenrod almost. It'll have the like gold throughout the area, and that's the only place that you can get gold. So pay attention to that. Okay, so these are the guys. I know these guys are spitters and they're aggressive. I remember them now. Like I said, it's been a while since I played, so be careful with these big eyeball guys. I believe, if I'm correct, I believe they are only on the beaches. So that's where you got to watch out for them. All right, we're getting pretty close now. I think I got about a minute and some change left. And okay, that's the slime we killed. So I'm going to go ahead and just continue to gather while we're waiting. I just wanted to be talking and everything so you could see exactly when the thing pops up to let you know that it's done. Let's see. We're going to continue grabbing things while we're at it. The beaches used to be the only place that you could get, for the most part, could get silicon, but it seems like they've changed that quite a bit over the last couple. I think that was maybe Alpha 12 that they changed that in, but now you can pretty much get it anywhere. You just have to keep your eyes peeled for it. Now, there's some cool things underwater too that we're going to end up going after. It's just we can't right now because we don't have what we need to go down there. You've got, in your suit, there's an oxygen tank basically, and you can increase all of that, and you can basically go underwater if you need to. Now, swimming underwater is kind of weird. If you have anything, I think this is the game. If you have anything in your hands at all while you're going underwater, you'll sink like a rock. I think. Yes, blueprint successfully finished. No, this isn't the game. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so if you notice, no oxygen, wearing helmet may help, and it's not letting us float up. But if we hit 7 here or actually just unload our hand here, we'll float to the top. So that's the thing to think about when you're swimming, is if you've got something in your hand, you'll sink to the bottom because you can't swim. But if you take anything, or if you take everything out of your hand, you're fine. Okay, so now our blueprint is done. We're going to go ahead and go to factory, or wait, no, library, I think. So when we come here, I'm trying to remember how this works here. It's been a while. Okay, so we should be able to spawn. Oh, that's not the right one. Okay, so once you're done here, we can go down here. We should be able to hit spawn, but I don't see it. Okay, so yeah, this is how it works. Once you're done with your blueprint and it tells you something's done, all you have to do is go up to the very top of your blueprints list here, and it'll show you what's ready to go. And all you have to do is hit spawn, and then you can just choose where you want it to drop and just click, and boom, it'll automatically spawn. Now we're going to have to put some fuel in here. So let's go ahead and fuel this thing up. The best way to do this is to hop into the seat, if I remember right, hit tab. And there's a container controller in here. So if I'm correct, we should be able to put the fuel directly in here. But we do not currently have any fuel. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to put some fuel in it. Now, the best fuel in the game is something that we already have. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop our portable constructor here, and then we're going to toss this promethium ore in here, and we're going to make some fuel packs. These fuel packs right here, they are the best fuel. Like I said in the game, they last a lot longer than gasoline does. And gasoline you can actually make through wood as well. So we're going to make up a little bit of gasoline just to show you. So we've got the biofuel down here, so we can make some of that too. But these promethium pellets will actually, or the packs will actually increase the fuel a lot better than anything else. Now there is another type of fuel that you need later just for warp drives specifically, but we don't need that yet. We don't have any warp capable ship at the moment. In fact, I don't think we'd be even able to think about a warp capable ship at the moment. I think you got to be like level 15 or something like that. But we're going to go ahead and finish off this fuel pack here, or these fuel packs, and we're going to fuel up the ship with that. I'm going to grab a little bit of biofuel too, just to show you the difference in the amount of fuel. You can use biofuel and promethium together in a ship, which is pretty cool. So it's just queued up everything that it needed to make the gasoline, so we just have to wait for the gasoline. Okay, so we have everything that we need now. So we're going to hop back in the seat here, and we're going to get this thing powered up. You can hit P to do this on your keyboard, and it will allow you to fuel it up from here. It'll allow you to fill it with oxygen and pentaxid. Pentaxid is what you need for warp fuel, but this doesn't have warp engines on it, so we're not worried about that. We don't have to worry about oxygen or anything like that. So all we need to worry about at the moment is the fuel. So we're just going to hit the fuel button here. You could just hit fill all, but I want to show you the difference between biofuel. 2 units of biofuel here gives 2% on this. Now we're going to go ahead and take 2 of these power packs as well and put those in. That gives 7%. So you get a lot more fuel off of your pentaxid or your promethium than you do in anything else. So I'm going to hop out and I'm going to go ahead and make up a bunch of promethium power packs and get this thing ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and make, I'd say, about 40 of these packs. These aren't the best promethium packs we can do, so we're going to hold off and not use all of our promethium on those. You can unlock better ones. In fact, let's see, what do we need to unlock that? That would be F3, and I believe it'll be under, yeah, level 12 here. We can unlock the large fuel packs and then the fusion cells. The fusion cells are the big granddaddy of them all. That's the one that you want to get to, obviously. So we can't do that until level 12, and we are currently level 7. So it's going to be a while. We're going to have to run off of these fuel packs for a little bit. But there are some other things that I'm going to go ahead and unlock while we're here. I need to go into the tools, and I need a multi-tool. Multi-tools are amazing, and drills are really good to have. So the multi-tool pretty much does everything except for drilling that you need. It'll pick blocks up a lot faster. It'll allow us to take down some of those bases or those wreckages that we saw a lot easier. I don't like using the survival tool for that because it takes forever and a day. We already have an ore scanner, so I'm not sure why we would want to unlock one unless we broke something. Let's see. Oh, okay. So the ore scanner, while the handheld drill is equipped, will actually show from 20 to 30 meters. But this allows you to scan for everything. It works on planets and in space. Now, it doesn't work with ore veins or when seated in a vessel. I'm trying to think. I think you're probably going to have some sort of detector on a vessel, more than likely, if you want to find things, which I don't see listed here. Oh yeah, detectors. Okay, we've actually got a detector on our vessel. And why do we have... Oh, we're getting a storm coming. So we need to hurry up and get some of this fuel in here. Actually, if we sit in the seat here, we're not getting... Yeah, we are. Okay. I'm just going to hit fill all here and see what we can do. We're up to 66%. I want to go ahead and fill this completely up before we take off. I think we'll be good though. Hopefully we don't have to wait too long for it. So a small amount of radiation is not going to hurt you, but a large amount of radiation, such as a radiation storm, will definitely hurt you. There's a radioactive fog that will set off your Geiger counter, which is what I think we've got here. I know there's radiation storms as well, so you need to be very, very aware of that. You notice we get this little red fog here. I can see it. I'm not sure if you can. You can probably, yeah, you can see it. But that's what is giving us the radiation at the moment. I think that's actually coming off of our ship, maybe. It looks like it. So let's take off on this a little bit. So hitting spacebar will actually raise the ship up quite a bit. And I think that might have been what was causing some of that fog. I'm not 100% sure. It looks like radioactive storm or fog though because of the green. So that should be, yeah, I think that's what it is. It's just we're seeing the red around here. But we should be about done here. So I'm going to go ahead and try to fill this up. We're at 96%. We're very, very close. And that should cover us right there. So we're just going to cancel all of that out. I just hit control and clicked again. Left click will cancel once it's in the construction queue. But if it's already queued up and started to make, it will not cancel. So beware of that. And we're going to hop in here and we're just going to start taking off. Wow, this thing's fast. Okay, so I'm going to hit V so you can see this thing in action here. But it's pretty quick here. Oh, I almost hit those guys. Now, this is Saren's build here. And he didn't tell me how fast it was. He just told me what it had. He didn't tell me it was super fast. So we're just going to go ahead and scan here just so we can see what's going on. We've got spider nest over that way. So as you see, this is a lot better than anything else. And it's very, very, very tricky to play with. But it doesn't surprise me knowing Saren. He likes the speed. And Q and E will actually roll and everything. Is there... I think there's an auto leveling feature, if I remember correctly, for this. I'm not 100% sure, but we're just going to come up over here. And this is where we want to be. So we're just going to hop out here and see about sleeping over the night. I'm not sure if we can or not. No, it's not quite nighttime yet. But if we get under a roof here, I think we're going to be safe from the storm. No, okay. The fog's just going to have to bother us. We haven't lost any health, so we should be fine on that. And we can just basically use this guy to fly around and find a place that we want to go. As you see, it goes side to side really quickly. Okay, we're getting a radioactive storm coming up here, so we need to hurry up and get out of here. These things are amazing. And as you see, they can pretty much go over everything. They'll go straight over water and everything. Let's see, there's some water here. We're going to fly over the water here. I'm going to try to level out a little bit. There we go. So they'll fly over the water. They'll fly over the ground. That's what you want this for. It's just super useful to get around if you're not actually flying. Think about it just like any kind of hover vehicle would be. What we're going to do here is we're going to probably go ahead and call the episode here and try to build us some shelter when we start back. So I'm going to go ahead and power this thing down by hitting P. And we can, I believe, cut the power off here. Yeah, we hit the power there. And we've got the power cut off on the ship. And I'm going to run in here and just chill here for a little while. And the next episode we'll pick back up here and we'll probably start working on our base a little bit. Thank you for watching the video all the way through. If you haven't already, drop a like to let me know that you did. Also, if you're new here and you haven't subscribed, think about subscribing and hitting the bell notification to be alerted when a new video goes live. Also, if you like what you saw and you want to see more, click one of the videos on your screen now. Thank you. Have a nice day.